Hey, what's up? What's going on? It's the BQF, Black Quarterback Forum, YouTube channel, BlackQBsInEffect.com website. So we finally got something to talk about with the preseason starting in week one this past weekend. But y'all know how I do it. Before I get to that, just talk for a quick minute about Rise of the Black Quarterback by Jason Reed. It's R-E-I-D. Rise of the Black Quarterback, what it means to America or for America. And Fritz Pollard, who I touched on before, this cat was amazing. His family lobbied his grandson, Fritz Pollard III, mostly put up an effort to get him in the Hall of Fame. And he was finally enshrined in the Hall of Fame posthumously, of course. He had passed on August 7, 2005. So the dude was amazing. So I'll be moving on to the next chapters after that. But just wanted to get that in about my man Pollard. So with that being said, we had some preseason action, right, people? Some players look pretty good, right? So, like my man Trey Lance, he got his opportunity. He played a lot, I think more than any other quarterback. He was 25 for 41, 188 yards, 6 rushes, and 6 rushing attempts, 43 yards. No touchdowns, though. But he looked like he could possibly make it in the NFL. So obviously he's not going to be playing there with Dak. But I think they got him at QB3 behind Cooper Rush at the moment. So he's still got a long way to go. But make the most of the opportunity when it's presented to you, which seems like he did. I didn't see all of that game, but I just happened to just watch the highlights. So it looks like he, played pretty decently. So it brings me to people like Hendon Hooker. He's in the QB3 slot. He was drafted in 2023, just last year, but he was hurt. Well, and also he drafted by the Lions, so he's not expected to play, but just to be healthy to play in preseason. Once again, to take advantage of the opportunities when they come, when you get to play, show that you belong. And so he was 5 for 9, 36 yards, and he rushed 4 times for 34 yards. He looked very positive, but he did get hurt. I believe a concussion when he was pulled out of the game. So then we have players like Josh Johnson, right? He's backing up Lamar in Baltimore. They also have another brother on their staff, in their quarterback room. I guess you can call him their staff player. His name, I can't think of his name at the moment. But out of their 4 quarterbacks in Baltimore, 3 of them are black. Josh Johnson, he's somewhat of a journeyman too. He's been in the league a while. He was just 4 for 12, 62 yards. So, he's back up, not expected to play, obviously, as long as Lamar is healthy. Interestingly, Justin Fields, he was 5 for 6, 67 yards, and I don't know, man. It just seems like always a struggle with him at times. So, couldn't get out of the way on a couple sacks, didn't produce any points. His preseason, can't read too much into it, but with him, he's had a lot of starts. I didn't get the exact number of starts, but we know the story with him, right? He just got to start playing good football, and that's it. So when given the opportunity. So those are some of the guys, and also like Tyrod Taylor. He played for the Jets. He's backing up Aaron Rodgers, of course. Tyrod Taylor is a journeyman, been around the NFL for a while. Solid number 2. Then he also drafted Jordan Travis. I don't think he played. But he's out of Florida State from just last year, or this year. This year. He was just drafted this year, 2024. So I'll talk about Trey Lance for a minute. And then, most intriguing trio of quarterbacks that stepped on the field was for the Cleveland Browns, which have 4 black quarterbacks. We got to give it up to the Cleveland Browns. 4 black. Okay, so this is how it went. I didn't watch the game, so I think Winston played first, and he only played a couple of plays. Looks like 4 for 5, 30 yards. He's QB2. He's listed after Deshaun. Then you got Tyler Huntley, formerly of the Baltimore Ravens. He's QB3. He was 6 for 9, 41 yards. And then we got QB4, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I think had the most time. He was 14 for 18, 134 yards. So those are all journeymen. Dorian Thompson-Robinson came in a year or two ago. Tyler Huntley, I don't exactly know what draft class, but obviously Jameis Winston been around for about 5-6 years and plus. So they have a collection of quarterbacks there in Cleveland, with obviously the most notable one, Deshaun Watson. So, and a lot of people believe in him. I thought he might get it together last year. And even with that team, with that defense, they still made the playoffs. So if they could have steady quarterback play out of him, that division, of course, I'll get more into that once they get started with the regular season. But I just thought I'd throw that out there about the Cleveland quarterbacks. They got 4 brothers in their quarterback room, right? Completely black. What a change these days. So speaking of which, there is 16 black quarterbacks that will be starting. I know a lot of people don't count Tua. The mainstream media doesn't. But if Kamala Harris is black these days, so is Tua. And I always tell the joke, if you put Tua in the lineup with all white guys and ask them to pick out the black guy, who do you think they're going to pick? Anyway, so that said, let's talk about these rookies, man. Ooh, we got 4 from this year, right? We got more than 4, but 3 that played for their teams. Of course, Joe Milton, Patriots. Like I said, I talked about his performance before on another video. But he was 4 for 6, 54 yards, and a nice touchdown pass. Then he was 2 for 3 rushing, 19 yards. Y'all know I went back and forth about him and Drake May. Drake May was drafted in the first round by the Patriots, number 3 overall. Joe Milton was number in the 6th round. I don't know what particular selection. It's in the hundreds at that point, people. So it's all about when you were drafted. So my thing with them is, what if Joe Milton is good too? What are you going to do? I mean, I guess, they can battle each other to see who ends up eventually evolving into the better quarterback. What if he is good? What if Drake, I'm just saying, Drake May could be good too. We don't know. Drake May, it was raining. I think when he got his chance, he didn't have opportunity to do much. So I think you're going to see a lot more of Drake May in week 2. So hopefully Joe Milton gets some more opportunity as well. So Caleb Williams was 4 for 7 in his debut with 95 yards, and he looked the part. I mean, he didn't look, like he wasn't capable of playing in the NFL. Same thing with Jaden Daniels. I mean, 2 for 3, 45 yards, but he had 1 rushing touchdown for 3 yards on a pretty nice drive. Very small sample sizes, nothing to get too excited about. But what I did like the most was Michael Penix Jr. The Falcons, they was giving the Falcons staff, I think it's Terry Fontenot, I could be wrong on that, but the GM and the head coach, they were giving him flack about, drafting Michael Penix Jr. in the first round, the 8th pick overall. I mean, I think he played well. I mean, he dropped back, read, 1, 2, 3, balls out of his hand. He's a lefty, so balls out of his hand. He was 9 for 16, 104 yards. He did miss on 7, but hey, he's a rookie, first time out there. Some were way high and uncatchable, but none of them were interceptable. So they were either getting to the receiver just couldn't get it, and some of them were pinpoint precision dimes. I mean, so he looked really good. I mean, of all those rookies, and even on the other side with some white cats, they was playing well too, So, but here at the BQF, I focus on the brothers. So we had quite a few of them out there, and we will have going forward, as I continue to say, the rise of the black quarterback in the NFL. And my man, he just calls it rise of the black quarterback. Like I say, I'm not the only person who's thinking about this. He wrote a whole book about it, so much props. I love that. As I said, I'm going to refer to that throughout the season. So, there we go with preseason talk. It's just the beginning, week 1. Like I said, ain't too much to put into it. But I'm always going to refer back to my man, Aaron Rodgers. He put it out there, people. It's only 8 to 12 teams out there who's going to make considerably a run for the Super Bowl. Only 8 to 12. The rest of them are playing for, I don't know, pizza and hot dogs or something. But it's only 8 to 12. So he put it out there. I'm going to be using it all year. And we're going to have some fun. Whoa. There's one of my alarms going on. But we're going to have some fun with the season. Can't wait for the regular season to get started. September 5th, My man behind me, Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson go at it again. Repeat of the AFC Championship game. And y'all listen to any of my videos. Two best quarterbacks in the AFC, Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. That's how I feel about it. So we get at y'all as the season rolls along. Week 2, baby, in the preseason.